Pardon me? Coburn is good to go tonight, so coach's decision if he gets in. Everybody's ready. Only guy that's not ready to go would probably be Garrison. But everybody else, for the most part, I'm not sitting here saying everybody's 100%, but they would be ready. He's a no-go, so we'll just go game by game. Gary's out. What's that? Oh, you got to show up tonight. Find out. I think regardless of who's in or who's out, the regular season was 82 games, and there's different reasons why, whether it's matchups, it could be injury related, it may not be full strength, it could be a whole bunch of things why guys are out. The one thing about when you're in the playoffs is it's a team. 20 guys are taking the ice, but it may not be the same 20 the next night. And as I said before, guys, this may be extra days rest for guys. There's a whole number of things it could be. The 20 we're going with tonight will be what we feel is the fit for tonight. It may not be the fit for Saturday, but it's what we feel is going to give us the best chance to win tonight because of health, because of a lot of reasons. But that's the group we're going with. And the speech isn't any different for Jonathan Drouin, Steven Stamkos, Victor Hedman, Brian Boyle. It's the same for everybody. If you're not in, get healthy, get ready. If you are healthy, be ready to play the next game. That's it.
John, because it was last year, injury side, what did you learn from the playoffs?
Oh, gosh. I've answered that question many times, but in kind of different ways. The playoffs last year, I think there was so much turmoil with our team last year. I shouldn't say turmoil, but we lost Stammer for 55 games. The trade, the Callahan-Marty trade, Bishop getting hurt at the end. This is my first year in the league as a full-timer. For most of our players, it was their first year in the league. I think we had 11 or 12 rookies. So we just grinded it out. And I think it was a little bit of a Cinderella regular season. And by the time we got to the playoffs, I think it was almost like we were just happy to get there. And not that we weren't going into the games thinking, okay, we're going to win. Like, we thought we could beat Montreal. We honestly did. It didn't happen. But it was fleeting. Like, our playoffs was like, we were in and out before we could blink an eye. And that was a sting. And I think what happened to us is we grinded out every single game in the regular season to get in and to get for second place or whatever we finished, to get by Montreal that last day. I don't know, and we worried about a lot of other teams. I don't know if we worried about ourselves. That's what we did this year. I can't sit here and tell you how this series is going to play out, but we are way more prepared. I'm more prepared. I know the coaches now. I know the players now. I know the league now, and so do our players. And then you couple that with the additions of Strawman, has played in the final, 50-plus playoff games in the last couple years. Same with Boyle's played in the final. Colburn's played in the final. All of a sudden now we've got a little bit of experience, I guess. And then with all our young guys having that sting of last year, it's a completely different makeup, and just the experience I gained from it is much different. Even just sitting here talking to everybody. Like, I probably would have come up here last year and looked at everybody and been a little bit nervous about what's going on up here. You know, now it's like having you for dinner. So Val's our lone cup guy, and the one thing about Val, you give him the toughest assignments and he delivers for you. And I think you're going to see Val against Hank. You're going to see him against Pav. You're going to see them. He'll be out against those guys because he knows how to defend. He's always on the right side of pucks. And I never sit here and say, oh, well, Val, you should have 25 goals. I'm sure he wants to have that. But he does so many things in different areas. He kills penalties for us, plays on a power play, wins face-offs, out in the last minute. Like, I can go on and on. That's what he does for us. And those guys are invaluable for you. Who? Yeah. Mm-hmm. Well, D's a tough spot to jump in the league, or a tough position. I think it's great. You never want to see guys get hurt, but a door opens for somebody else, and that was for Nesty. And he went through his up and downs. He was a little inconsistent. He went on some runs playing for us, took a couple steps back, had to sit him out, had to watch some tape, had to learn, got back in, realized he had more time than he thought, and then you just give him, it's baby steps. All of a sudden then you inch him on the second power play unit, and he's starting to get a taste. He starts to like what he's tasting, and then those guys don't want to give it up, and that's what he's doing. And so now the more responsibility he gets, I think the better he's been, and you got to reward a guy for that. He's done a great job. Mm-hmm. No, I don't think so. I can't comment on the play. It was probably a penalty, but there's different, it's no different than, a guy hitting somebody from behind or defenseman turning. Like, you're going to put yourselves in vulnerable spots, or you're going to do some questionable things. And the refs, there's two of them out there that pretty much catch most of the stuff that goes on. So I think, do you want to shy away a little bit from the, I watched a little bit of that game last night, and there was a lot of scrums and all that. I think it's inevitable in game one. Both teams are flexing their muscles. It's what they do, and I think the refs know that. But I think as you watch series go on, guys know the magnitude of what happens, and I think it decreases. But I don't think you can stop it in game one. You saw guys hitting last night that I haven't seen hit in 2 years, and it'll probably be the same for our team. Everybody's banging into each other, and it's because it's the playoffs and guys are heightened.
The playoff, I know it's different maybe because
Mm-hmm.
the goalie's a goalie. They're the same guy shooting. Do you totally buy that? Or he says it's no different than the regular season?
Well, he's our goaltender, so I'm going to buy it. So if Mrazek said it, I'd say no, it's way different. I think there's something to that because he's not getting line matched. He's not doing any of that kind of stuff. He's just sitting there stopping pucks. Their power play is the same. He's going to get the same looks. So there is a little bit of truth to that. Now, will his crease be crowded a little bit more? Will guys be going to the net a little bit harder? I would think so. That's just because of the nature of the beast. But there's a little truth to that all he has to really do is worry about keeping the puck out of the net. He's not worried about the forecheck or the back check or all those other little things. He's got his job, but he may underscore it a little bit. It is a really big job, and the goaltender's position is they're the last line of defense, and you just want those guys to be consistent, and he's been that for the 2 years I've been here. He's been nothing but, so I expect nothing less. Of course he did. Unfortunately, I do. It was, I can't remember the year, but it was, I think actually in my junior career, it was a first best of 7 series I'd been a part of. It's irony, because my first one in the NHL, I got swept as well. But the second ones have always worked out, so hopefully that carries on. But yeah, Bish knocked us out in 4.
John, when you talk, the players try to talk about keeping the calmness.
Mm-hmm.
Because you see the playoffs, a lot of guys are running around and making mistakes.
Mm-hmm.
We're down a game like this. How about for you as the head coach in your division? How much of an influence can that be as it resonates down there?
I think different coaches would have different answers to that. I'm a little bit of a believer that somehow, some way the coach acts, the team will follow in some regards. If you're a screamer on the bench, I think you would see players probably become a little bit more vocal on the bench. I'm just speculating that, but it's, in my experience, I've probably witnessed a little bit of that. Do they take on my demeanor? I don't know. That's a hard question to ask. From my perspective, though, it's, I'm a pretty competitive guy and an intense guy. Do I come out here and hammer this podium? And no, I'm not that. But when we're back in the room, there, it's a game on. And the one thing is, when we go in together, we're going in as a group. It's not coach, directing players. We're all in this together, and it's have your guys prepared as much as possible. But when the game does there is a little bit of excitement. You don't want your guys crossing the line. So if you don't cross the line, there's a pretty good chance they won't cross the line. It's the same way when you deal with referees. Like, if you're going to sit there and scream and yell at them the whole game, your players are probably going to end up doing the same thing, and it's probably going to not work out for you. So we try and take that professional approach, but with a little bit of youthful exuberance, I guess. And that's kind of how we've gone and how we're going to continue to go.